can make a point for me. It would be nice if you made a point for me. Wow. Are we recording already? Is that what you're wearing? Didn't you know I was going to be here?
Hey dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with another Fingerdoo review of Canada's Drag Race. And I'm so sorry, but we are here with episode 5 and 6. Yes, 2 for 1. And I am with my illegitimate drag daughter, the scintillating Wilhelmina Box Farts. How are you, Wilhelmina?
I'm good, Wilma. How are you doing?
I am all right. Now,
yes.
What did we think?
Well, I was in the mood for someone to go home. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy about last week. All the queens were wondering why Amy was still there. And apparently most of the queens thought Nira had out lip-synced Miss Chanel, including Nira, but...
Including me.
Yeah, but to show she's an adult, Nira apologized to Amy for being overly opinionated before the lip sync last week, which I have to say that impressed me.
Doesn't take much to impress you.
No. Well, I just, it's very rare you hear anyone apologize for what they've said or done on camera without them having a night in the hotel to worry about the comeuppance of the community or social media. Melinda. Something that didn't impress me was Denim's passive-aggressive way of saying that Melinda should have been shown the door. But because she was being passive-aggressive, what she actually said was, I'm just a little confused. And even though she didn't actually say a name, Melinda knew who Denim was talking about.
Yeah.
And
Everyone
clearly,
knew.
it was the wrong thing to say.
Well, because someone pulled Melinda's anger string and she just went off like a Chucky doll. That metaphor was going to go somewhere, but I just got so annoyed.
Yeah. Because Melinda went off on that tangent. It's like, I don't want to be here, but people want me to be here, which I thought didn't sell her being there.
Yeah, if you don't want to be there, just because other people want you to be there, you're like, oh, fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess if everyone wants me to do it. No.
Ugh. When we came back to the workroom the next day, she was feeling contrite.
Yeah.
But because I feel that she had that night to think, oh God,
to ruminate.
What will the fan base say?
Her choices.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The only reason that she got the beaver from Kiki in the first place was because Amy and Nira had things to say to each other. And it needed to be done during the lip sync.
They wanted to throw it down, so they threw it down the way you're supposed to throw it down.
Yeah.
And if you're drag queens, you want to fight with one another, you either have to do it in the library, or you have to do it in a lip sync.
Regardless, it ended with Melinda screeching at the queens and walking off again. I think this is going to be a theme with her. I think we're going to see this happen more than a couple times.
You can't walk out that many times before people stop going after you.
And I have to say, the mood the next day in the workroom, in the words of Melinda, was renewed.
Was that renewed or was that regret?
I think it was more regret. Remorse over what had happened. Either way, I didn't buy that she was sorry it happened, but I'm setting my watch for the next meltdown.
You just think she was sorry it was
caught on camera. Yeah.
Okay.
Thankfully, Rue's holographic message interrupted proceedings, and the message alluded to the falling stars and big bangs, which surprised me because I didn't think Rue knew you, Wilhelmina.
Oh. Well, it was an extra wide parking spaces, so it clearly wasn't about you.
And then Brooklyn showed up with this week's mini challenge, my favorite mini challenge. Or
my favorite.
It was until this episode, I'll tell you what. Because the library was open, because reading is what? Fundamental!
Can't get these on my face. If the library was open, I feel like it was just open a little crack. Kitten Caboodle went first, and she did fine.
Yeah. I thought that she was smart and Googled some insults clearly before she got there, because nothing she said was new.
And they showed us a classic roast insult.
Yeah.
Okay.
Job well done. Yeah, I thought Aurora Matrix did a good read, especially when she got to Denim's voice in Melinda's wigs.
Some low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Some tasty fruit.
Yeah, which it's inspired Brooklyn Heights saying that Melinda's wigs are flat and dry because, well, she's representing the prairies.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Brooklyn, I think, had the best read of the entire challenge.
Thing. Yeah. Melinda was next, and, well, she had premises galore, but where were the jokes?
Lots of premises, no jokes. Lots of things that you'd be like, oh yeah, that's a fun setup. Oh no, that was the whole thing. Yeah. Okay.
Venus, in my opinion, seemed more interested in giving herself a wedgie in that ginge that she was wearing than winning the mini challenge. Did you notice every time they kind of cut to her?
You were very distracted.
Well, she kept pulling up these strands. Like, how far? Why don't you put them up over your ears? Like,
I just
how
feel-
high up do you want it to go?
Well, if that's the underwear you're wearing or the undergarment you're wearing, you're just guaranteed to need to adjust yourself constantly.
Yeah, constantly.
Nira was up next and clearly wasn't over her little dust-up with Amy because she threw down some shade and read her to filth.
Yeah.
Much to Amy's chagrin.
Yeah. Amy, bless her, tried.
She tried.
Yeah, she tried to read Venus for being thin, but hey, she's thin.
Hey, look at her.
She wins.
Look at that pretty person. Look at that thin person. It's like when you make fun of me for being gorgeous and hilarious. It's like these are all true things, but it's not that funny.
I've never made fun of you for being gorgeous.
No, that's true.
I don't read fiction. Oh,
What?
Kiki Ko calling Kitten Caboodle a triple threat because at any time she could have a heart attack, stroke, or poop her panties was funny. Because it's true.
Because it's ages.
No loud noises around the kitten.
Luna Dubois decided to pick on Aurora for not steaming one skirt, which was valid, but it was a completely ugly outfit anyways. And
No, that's just more of an aesthetic.
It was just household advice at that point, which is handy.
Finally, we had Denim, and, well, she went in. She told Amy she didn't deserve to be in the bottom last week because, well, she doesn't deserve to be there at all,
Classic.
Which was very funny. And she told Luna that it was appropriate that she was from Toronto, a.k.a. the 6, because that's as far as she's going to get in this contest.
And then I had to do some math, and it got confusing.
Yeah.
And then she tried to read Kiki, I think.
I don't know. It didn't pan out, whatever she tried to do.
It was fine.
Still, when the library was closed, Brooklyn announced that Denim was the winner. Good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah. Well, what else is she doing?
Best of the worst.
Yeah. And then
Not much of a challenge.
And then it was time for the main challenge. The Snatch game. Normally, I'm so excited for this.
Normally, I'm so excited for this. I was trepidatious.
I was nervous, worried, anxious. Where were you worried with the Snatch game? Did you have any
Where was
people?
I worried when they
did you have any
announced
people
it?
that?
And when they announced it last week, I was worried about Snatch game.
Yeah.
I was worried for all of these queens because up until now they've shown that improv is not their forte.
It's Venus. She brought two characters, and I really like the idea of the Tiger King because I don't think anyone's done that yet. And also, it's drag adjacent.
It's very drag. Tiger King feels like a drag king to me. Her other option was Fran Drescher, and all we got was a little bit of
that.
the nanny's laugh, which is not Fran Drescher.
No.
It's the nanny.
I mean, we're very lucky recently that Fran Drescher, as the president of SAG-AFTRA,
That's a human being.
has been on TV a lot, being very, very on top of things and very shrewd and business-oriented. But I'm not sure if that was happening when they were filming this or
I don't know
not.
if that was happening when they
But
filmed.
still, if you Googled Fran Drescher and found out she was the president of a union, you could create a whole thing. There was one episode that she wouldn't cross a union line because her aunt worked for Blouse. And
Blouse, blue, blouse, blouse, blue, blouse, blue, blouse. Well, if you played the nanny as like a union busting nanny, that would be kind of fun.
Nira was going to do Jennifer Coolidge. And I have to say, I was excited for that because I think that she's, I thought her voice, she did a bit of it.
She did a good voice. She already had the lips without having to do anything.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty sensible choice for Nira.
It was the only one she brought. So even if other people didn't like it, tough titties.
Tough titties, the toughest of titties to you.
Which, speaking of tough titties, Kitten Caboodle.
Also, doing Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah. And she wasn't backing down either. And good for her.
Good for her. Good
Yeah,
for you.
I'm glad that she didn't. And this has come up before on Drag Race Snatch games where two queens or possibly more plan to do the same celebrity, but then one acquiesces. So there's only one impersonation of said celebrity. Why? Let them go toe-to-toe. Sure. Let's see who is better in the performance.
Especially when you've got one who's like, a crone versus a maiden. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you can play the same character two very different times in their life.
But I'm waiting for the Snatch game where everyone does the same character. I think it would make for some good TV if we had a Snatch game full of Liza Minnellis.
Night of 1,000 Lives.
Yeah,
All wearing kimono.
maybe.
Bet.
High kicking and calling for mama. Luna was doing Mary M. Cosby, an evangelical personality who's apparently on a wife show or some
She's a
such thing.
housewife?
I don't know. I don't care. Regardless, I've never heard of her. So that means she's either on a stupid show or is just stupid. Because even stuff I don't like, I pay attention to because,
You do.
keep
It's
up.
true.
Keep
you
up.
never know.
Never know.
You never know when you might be quizzed.
Yeah.
Now Melinda picked fellow Filipino, hopefully not fellow homophobe, definitely not fellow boxer. Did you know this person, Manny?
No.
Pac-Man
Pacquiao?
Pacquiao?
No.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of him, and I was very surprised that Brooklyn did.
I mean, I don't mind when they pick someone completely off-center, because if I don't know who you are, then I'm not bringing any baggage to it. So you can do absolutely whatever you want, and if it's great, it's great, and if it's not, I'll be like, no, that's how that person is. Like
Somebody who worried me, bless her heart, was Amy Yonce Chanel because she was going to do Black Gay Jesus.
So Jesus.
And I have to say, in theory, we've had Trinity play the devil. We had what's her face on Canada's Drag Race last year. Was it Canada's Drag Race or UK?
There was a Down Under. There was
who played? Oh, was it the Down Under the Jesus? Yeah, that was very funny. But because we don't know who they are, they can really be portrayed anyway. The only thing that worried me was just Amy's confidence in the language.
She should just throw it in Spanish and claim that she's speaking Arabic.
Speaking in tongues.
I'm speaking Middle Eastern.
The language of my people.
It sounds very Hispanic.
Yeah.
That's why we embrace Jesus so much. Kiki Ko planned to do Elizabeth Taylor and didn't seem to know anything about Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, I thought she meant Oscar winner Elizabeth Taylor, but from how Kiki planned to play her, I was thinking that she was focusing on a different Liz.
I think she was doing an old Liz Taylor. She's like, well, we all know Liz Taylor's a heavy smoker.
Is she?
Do we?
Was she?
Is that what we know?
I know she drank. Is she one of those people that had to have a smoke when she drank? Because there's nothing wrong with that.
Not the first thing I would have brought up, but everyone in that time was a heavy smoker. You couldn't avoid it.
No. When I think of Liz, I'm thinking of diamonds.
Diamonds.
And lavender eyes.
Lavender eyes.
That's it.
Maybe just a little international velvet. Which
a little Butterfield 8 won't kill you either.
Yeah, I thought both of those were fabrics.
Yeah. Then I was going to play Julia Fox.
Good.
Who the hell is Julia Fox?
No idea.
No, I didn't care.
No idea.
Aurora's plan to impersonate Emperor Zhao Bing seemed like a brilliant idea when she did it in front of Brooklyn.
Tiny little hands.
I lost my mind with just her head and the hands.
Tiny
oh
hands
my
and
God.
A funny Asian accent.
And the hat. And that wig with the barrettes.
I got so excited. I was so
and the
excited.
face on her. Oh my God. I thought, just based on that, I predicted she was going to win Snatch Game. And then it was time for the Snatch Game.
Snatch Game.
Brad Gorski and Tracy Melchior in that beautiful purpley pink sequin, whatever it was. It was gorgeous.
She was gorgeous.
Yeah. But they were our celebrity contestants.
Yeah, they couldn't find anyone else to come in.
That's our celebrity system in Canada. We have two. You're not famous enough to be on TV, or you're too famous to ask. That's how it works.
That's how it works. They're like, oh, well, they've done. They're too big. Yeah. And the secret is no one's busy.
What do we think of the Snatch Game?
The Snatch Game ended up being better than I
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be a train anything, wreck. And I think that's the key for Snatch Games.
Lower your expectations.
From Canada.
Yeah.
I thought Venus settling on Joe Exotic from the Tiger King over Fran Drescher was a smart move because she did well.
Yeah, and she was very funny. It was one of the first times that we got to see Venus not looking, sexual and naked. So it was nice kind of seeing her be able to just be like, you know what, I can be funny. And just because I like to do just pretty lady makeup, doesn't mean I don't mind looking like an idiot sometimes.
And she had some great back and forth with Brooklyn. Like that whole Second Amendment or...
that was very funny.
Very funny.
Unintentionally funny, but still funny.
But she didn't crack it. And that's the key. She stayed with it and was good.
Yeah, she didn't have a lot of funny lines, but the ones that she had were good enough that it made it look like she was in the room and she was paying attention, which is all you need to do.
Melinda didn't suck.
She didn't suck.
Or was she just a lot less sucky than everyone else?
I mean, it didn't blow me away.
I didn't laugh at anything she said, but I could tell people were enjoying it.
I laughed at Mike Tyson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think even that was... I think I laughed more because of how Amy lost it. I thought that was funnier.
This is the best that she's ever looked.
It was the best because I don't think she had any makeup on.
Most feminine she's ever
Short
looked.
of that wig. It's ironic that little wig on her was the most styled wig she's worn so far.
Most styled, most stylish.
Speaking of Amy on stage, Chanel's Jesus, she was being very reverent and solemn up to that moment. And then she was like, hi! And at least was fun.
It was fun.
Was she funny?
Yeah. She had a good opening and then she just seemed to be enjoying herself.
She had a fabulous follow through with nothing to build off of.
Yeah, so. She made one saucy comment about in response to Luna's boring character about how do you get close, how do you become the church elder, the church leader? Like you gotta suck my
That's right.
Where did that come from? Except it was just I think she was surprised that she said something funny and everyone just sort of moved on.
Yeah, I think the whole room kind of went.
Yeah, be like, well, where did that? Luna's character was
Mary M. Cosby. I just don't know who that is, so
she's
I don't. But when she
not
said
she was
show. No, and when she said she was a religious person or an evangelical type person, I just expected her to be bigger with it, like lots of.
I expected her to be playing with Jesus more.
Thought she was going to do.
That's your homeboy right there. Like do you love this guy?
Yeah.
Are you really?
She
into
made
this guy?
no reference to.
Why are you like super hot for this guy?
Yeah.
Especially if you are this good churchy lady, be getting a little.
Oh yeah, like an autograph, I have some
something.
water. Could you turn it into wine? Hey, Jesus. Yeah, she did none of it. And it's a shame.
It's a shame.
And God bless
Speaking
Aurora.
of missed opportunity. Oh, Emperor Shopping, Aurora Matrix started off. I was in. I'm like tiny hands.
Yeah. But you know what ruined it for me right off the hop was that she sat up high in the chair.
She sat up too high.
I'm sorry they didn't let her sit low and just be a head, because even if she'd gone lower, like shoulders and head, it would have been funny.
I wanted a head and hands. And another one that was like, oh, fun accent. This is going to be good. And then it just didn't really go anywhere.
No.
It didn't go anywhere.
Something else that I thought was going to be fun was the battle of the Jennifer Coolidges. I thought it was set up for success because they sat them right beside each other. I mean, how do you avoid the confrontation like that?
They avoided it.
I love that, but I felt that Kitten was more either willing or equipped to battle Nira, where Nira didn't seem as confident in her ad-libs.
I felt like this was something that Kitten has done before, so she's got things to say. So I didn't find her hilarious.
No, she wasn't funny.
Especially off the top. She had that really funny line about Brooklyn being in the space program in her face.
Very funny.
I thought, Nira did a good job with the voice, but...
Yeah, I also loved Nira's makeup because she didn't really have any on it, and it just allowed her face to almost be a different shape. Did she look like Jennifer Coolidge? No.
No.
But then neither did Kitten. Did she sound like Jennifer Coolidge? Sure. Did she sound more like Jennifer Coolidge than Kitten? Yeah. What do we think of Kiki Cole's Liz Taylor?
Is that who she was?
Well, I'm glad she had the name up in front of her because I didn't know who the hell that was.
I had no idea.
She didn't look like her. I thought it was Imelda Marcos. She looked more like Imelda Marcos.
Throw on some of those Filipino... What are they? Filipino shoulders.
Yep.
I know they have a name. I just call them Filipino shoulders.
I thought she looked good, but she did not look like Elizabeth. She didn't
look like her.
I've never heard Elizabeth Taylor talk gruffly.
She didn't make a single reference to her.
The last person on the panel was Denim as Denim.
Julia Fox? I still don't know.
No, that wasn't Julia Fox. That was Denim. That was just Denim doing Denim. Like
Denim just slowed down with
slightly
more vocal fry. It didn't feel like anything other than Denim.
Yeah, I feel like this was a safe one for her because of the voice. I feel like she thought, I'll do a good impersonation, but it's like, it's not about it being a good impersonation. It's about it being funny. Yeah. And then, thankfully, it was time for the queens to get ready for the runway. I loved that Brooklyn Heights wore an outfit to show what a Vivienne Westwood look was.
It was so shady.
But it was gorgeous on her.
Is this what you meant to do last week? Is this what you meant to do? This how you do it?
The silhouette looked more like what Venus had on, but it was definitely more Vivienne Westwood than anything Melinda's ever put on her back. God bless her. I thought Tracy looked gorgeous in that black lace. I liked it more when she came down the runway as a black lace jumpsuit with the black belt. I thought she looked gorgeous. And speaking of walking down the runway, I love that kilt that Brad had on.
Who doesn't love a kilt?
Well, I loved that one. It was just very interesting because it involves some of the same fabrics that were in the jacket, so it's clearly a suit.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's
I have
always
something
fun.
to say about Brad this week.
I'm not a
Okay,
fan,
fair
but it
enough.
doesn't mean he
Fair
can't
enough.
have his moments. Speaking of moments,
Speaking of moments.
the trade of her season, looking like a snack herself, the delicious Jada Essence Hall, out of drag.
Boy drag.
Out of
Yeah,
drag.
That's a boy.
But looking gorgeous nonetheless was
Looking like
our
a snake.
guest judge. She looked good.
She looked good.
I love Jada. She's
trade of
just
all
so much fun.
seasons.
Yeah. And then it was time for the runway categories.
Steampunk.
And this is a very broad topic,
It's
I
very
think.
broad. It's a
Because
very
some
broad
people
category.
that know, like, there you have two groups of people. People that know what steampunk is. And
And people who aren't virgins.
I loved Denham's Clockwork Fairy. That wasn't, in my opinion, a steampunk look because of the fairy element in it, but the clockwork wings,
The clockwork wings.
the
were
helmet that she had on, the
gorgeous.
little leather, like, aviator
The
cap.
helmet was good. My favorite thing about this was that the wings actually worked. They worked.
They were
the
gorgeous.
entire
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I thought Denim looked great. I thought she kicked off the runway stupendously.
Yeah, Follow
with this
That
look.
Bitches is the name of
Yeah.
that costume. Yeah. And because the wings worked, that's what put it over the top for me. I totally gave her a finger to. How could you not? She looked great. What do we think of Kitten's outfit?
It was nice. She looked good in it.
She
It
looked
was-
good in it.
It didn't feel super steampunky to me.
No, all of
but-
her stuff is very showgirl
Oh,
leaning. So she had. I love how people think they can put cogs and clockworkings on
just
something.
throw
and
on a
it's-
gear and put
and
on
it's
some goggles
steampunk.
and it's steampunk.
But I did like hers. Like she went further than a few of the other girls did. So Fingerdoo for Kitten Caboodle.
Kiki Ko seemed to be enjoying herself on the runway. Her outfit was very dark, though.
Yeah, it was hard to
It was
see
hard
what
to
was
see.
going on.
Yeah, she was definitely selling it. She was definitely feeling her steampunk fantasy.
Yeah.
But it was hard to
But she just looked like she had on a great black dress.
hard to tell what we were
with
looking
some
at.
stuff on it
Yeah.
in her hair. So I have to give it a finger down.
Gasp.
Yeah, I mean, it was gorgeous, but it wasn't the category, if you ask me. That's all. I also don't know what the hell Amy was wearing, so I gave it a finger don't too.
Is that one of the pirate winch?
Yeah, she looked
I
like a
know
pirate
there's-
winch.
There's a lot of overlap between some steampunk stuff and some pirate winchy, but it just felt like she was one of the girls that's just like, okay, I've got a wench outfit, I'll put on some goggles, I'll put on a cock, there we go. Steampunk, done.
Yeah, Nero looked okay. I liked her look, so I gave her a finger do. It wasn't the best one, but it wasn't the worst. It
wasn't
certainly
the
was steampunk anyway. Melinda looked fantastic.
She looked really good.
Yeah, this is the best her makeup's ever been. This is the best I don't think she's had bad wardrobe. Like, her runways have been good. But this, finally, like, everything met at the same point. Like, she looked like all of her body parts are going to the same party. I was impressed. So, finger do for Melinda. God, that hurt to say. Did you
I
feel
know,
how
I
hard
felt
that
it,
was?
I felt it. It almost felt sincere, though. Aurora Matrix shook off last week's terrible runway
Oh, yeah.
with a beautiful clockwork spider.
Yeah, it really put me in mind of Wild Wild West with Will Smith, which is a very steampunk influencing film. So because of the spider hands, I thought, excellent job. I would have really been impressed if they'd moved.
Yeah.
They didn't, but that wasn't a deal breaker for me. So finger do for Aurora. Bless her heart.
And then Luna wore,
Body oil.
yeah, some nice coconut oil.
She was serving some ham back up in there.
She looked very shiny,
Yeah, yeah,
luscious, and
yeah.
I don't really remember what she was wearing.
No, but I loved watching her walk away in it, so I gave her a finger do. Once Venus took off the gas mask she was wearing, I don't think her outfit looked steampunk at all.
No, it didn't feel punky.
Which is too bad that she took the mask off, because that was what sold it. So I have to give it a finger don't. And then it was time for the judges' critiques. Aurora, Venus, Kitten, Luna, Kiki, and Melinda were the best and the worst of this week. And surprise, surprise, Melinda won.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where they were announcing. I was like, okay, I don't know. Oh, no, maybe you're in the bottom. Maybe you're in the bottom. Maybe some of us. It really. I didn't know how this one was gonna go.
No. Part of me thought for a minute there that Venus was going to win it. I just liked what she did more, but there's no denying that Melinda had the better performance.
I mean, the judges definitely seemed to like Kitten's performance more than I did, and they liked Venus's performance a lot more than I did.
That left the bottom queens as Luna, Kiki, and gasp, Aurora.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Did you think this was fair?
Yeah. Am I happy that those are the two that landed in the bottom? No, but it's their own fault.
Yeah, the bads weren't. I guess the bads weren't train wrecks. They were just boring.
Yeah,
boring and forgettable.
Yeah, nobody took a big steamy dump on the stage,
No,
but
tiny little delicate poop.
So Melinda had to pick who to give the hairy beaver to, and even though Kiki said, "Don't give it to me just because I gave it to you," Melinda gave it to her.
Yeah,
because she gave it to her.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Tit for tat or beef for beef.
Beef for beef.
Yeah. Which meant that Luna and Aurora had to lip sync to Tate McRae's "She's All I Want." Have you heard of Tate McRae?
No. Had you heard the song?
No.
This
But
is
I
us.
didn't hate the song.
Where's the plug?
Yeah.
Where's the plug? We're not plugged in.
What did you say?
I was looking for the plug. We're not plugged in. This is the ball. This is us. Way over here. Oh. Nowhere close to the ball. Not on the ball.
We're not on the ball at all. No.
This is the pulse. This is us. Not on the ball.
So what did we think of this lip sync?
It was good lip sync. It was a fine lip sync.
I have to say,
Aurora destroyed.
Yeah, she killed it. She is a fantastic performer. Anyone who's ever up against her in a lip sync should be worried after watching that because she killed it. Luna didn't do a bad job, but she did a lot of the same moves that she did the last time she lip synced, she had on that tiger outfit, and she had these weird head move things that she did again out of it.
It made more sense not dressed as a tiger.
I liked the move better in the tiger costume because it looked more felinic or feline-like.
Oh, not Fellini. I thought she did a fine job, but for me, her lip sync was a lot like her personality. It's like if you like that sort of dry, low key lip sync, you're gonna like this. If you don't, it's just like it was fine. Yeah. She's fine.
If she had been up against anybody else, I think she would have shantaed. But she was up against.
She couldn't hold her own.
Aurora Matrix, the lip sync assassin.
She was assassinated.
Of the future. She's gonna send everyone home.
She punched her right in the face.
And good for her. Do you think that was fair?
I thought that was more than fair.
Yeah, I thought the minute that Aurora was in the bottom, all I could think of, she better come back.
That was a word.
Yeah. Which brings us to episode 6. So as the queens decompressed, they also mulled over this week's Maxi Challenge, which was going to be the first ever sleigh off, and not one, 2 queens would be going home. Finally. So the queens got ready for the sleigh off. Venus talked about abusing her body with eating disorders in the attempt to maintain her drag persona. And I was intrigued by this conversation because it wasn't about her image of herself. It was about what she looks like in drag and the image she wants to portray there. And I think this is something we don't talk about a lot where drag queens are concerned. And I think it's something that comes up a lot with them, especially the ones that have surgeries and such. There's a real pressure to be that drag queen, especially as you develop a reputation and a fan base. And I just felt so bad for her. And I have had conversations with overly skinny people before where they talk about how hard it's as hard to be overly skinny by critical people as it is to be fat.
I think people are everyone's always insecure about the thing that they're the most insecure about. So if you're tall, everyone thinks it's lovely to be tall, but you might be very insecure to be tall. If you're gorgeous like me, everyone thinks you love to be gorgeous, but maybe you're a little insecure about being gorgeous. I mean, that's a terrible example because I'm not insecure about being gorgeous. I know exactly how pretty I am, and I'm very comfortable with it. But if I had a flaw,
If you had one, if you had to pick a flaw, it would be that you're too gorgeous?
I suppose.
Threatening other people?
I guess people find it intimidating. Are you intimidated?
No.
By my beauty?
No.
Okay.
And then, here's your hat. What's your hurry? It was time to head to the runway for the sink-off. Is it a sink-off?
It's still a lip sync or nobody's
Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
This is the first time I did not like what Brooklyn was wearing, especially that wig. It looked... Well, the pink tone looked clunky. It looked like she had 2 very heavily... not hairsprayed, but moussed or gelled. It just looked heavy on her.
I love the idea of this wig, but it felt like it was missing a chunk. Like there was a piece missing from somewhere.
Yeah, it wasn't as beautiful as something that Denise Cherneau would do. I'm just saying, if you're looking for a fabulous wig,
Look no further.
my wig whisperer, Denise Cherneau, sent me this
Gorgeous.
gorgeous ginger
Gorgeous.
bubble for
I
Christmas.
need to
I
talk
love
to
you,
Denise about
Denise.
getting-
I thought Tracy looked beautiful in that blonde wig. I love a blonde bob on
I
her.
love a
She
blonde
looked gorgeous in that graphic
Mm.
red blazer. And brace yourself.
What?
Second week in a row, I love
What?
what Brad Goreski was
Stop
wearing.
it.
Yeah, he's never looked more adult or handsome. I just thought this was it. This is if he's going to go around looking like somebody, it might as well be. Is it Jim Gunn? No, Ted Gunn.
Tim Gunn.
No.
There is
It's-
a Jim Gunn.
Yeah.
And a Tim Gunn.
And Canada's own Winnie Harlow was showing everyone how it's done. I think every time I see her, I think she's looking more and more beautiful. I don't know. She's
gorgeous.
aging so well.
Stunning.
And I love that she was shocked that two queens would be sashaying once Brooklyn said it. She's like, what?
Yes. I have to say, I don't want to spoil it, but I thought she was a great judge, especially for this panel.
Yes.
Where you had to be so involved for so long with all the lip syncs. I thought she was into it. I thought she knew what her job was, and I thought she did an absolutely fabulous job.
And most of all, she knew what she was talking
She knew
about.
what she was talking about. She
Yeah,
knew what she was talking about.
yeah. The 8 queens were randomly paired up for the first round. And the way this worked was Winnie Harlow picked a name out of a bowl. They got to pick a song.
There were 4 songs lined up. Name out of a bowl. Go pick your song.
And then the next name could either pick that song too and then go against that queen, or pick a separate song and then not know who they might be up against. So it was really a combination of what songs you felt comfortable lip syncing to and when your name got called. Because I think the queens that were kind of left to the end didn't get a lot of options.
No, you take what you can get.
The first queen that Winnie picked the name of was Denim. And she picked the song I'm Not Here to Make Friends by Sam Smith.
Yeah, she hemmed and hawed and was like, well, I was going to go do that don't impress me much, but I thought that this would be
She was
something more
she
interesting.
normally would go with the Shania Twain option,
which
but
I
she
thought was,
brave.
yeah.
I would have gone
with.
with what I'm familiar with,
Yeah.
just so there were no surprises.
Yeah.
Speaking of surprises, Melinda Verga was next, and she went straight to Shania Twain. So I don't know. Denim could have. I think she could have outdanced Melinda. I just want to go on record as saying that I love this wig that Melinda was wearing because it looked like it was from the Leif Garrett collection. It's not a good wig reference.
Venus came out of the bowl next
Yeah.
and selected Alanis Morissette's Uninvited.
Not a song
What
I
a
would.
weird...
Yeah, that's
But
a.
it's,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I have things to say about that.
Yeah, it's an odd song to throw in that mix. I mean, I get it, it's a Canadian song, but she's...
Yeah.
What about Alanis when she wanted to be the next Madonna? Always
Yeah.
too hot, never
Yeah,
too
what about
cold,
Too
you
Hot?
made your best shot, too hot to hope.
Something like that.
I could do that, what the hell? Finally, it was Aurora who was pulled out of the bowl, and she picked I'm Not Here to Make Friends, which put her directly up against Denim, poor little
Much to
Denim.
the shock of everyone who was aware
Oh.
of their alliance,
Yeah.
which included Denim.
Yeah.
Denim seemed to be a little
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, I thought we were, girl, but you're a lipstick assassin, you're just going to stab me right in the eye.
Not Here to Make Friends, indeed.
Yeah, indeed.
Amy Beyonce Chanel came out of the bowl next, and there was only one free song, and that was left, and that was Fever Dreamer. I'd never heard of this song,
No.
or who. I don't even remember who they said
Just
did
raw
it.
choices.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Near Enough was the next name Winnie picked, and because she felt like she had some unfinished business with Amy, she went and stood beside her and the song Fever Dreamer.
Which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah,
was like,
good for you. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. No one went home last time. Let's see if we
It's
can
the
get
lip
someone to
sync
go
we
home
want to
this time.
see. Yeah, yeah. Kitten Caboodle didn't want to go up against Melinda, but she couldn't refuse the lure of Shania.
Who can?
Well, no one
I
really.
challenge you.
Yeah. That left Kiki Cole up against Venus and the song Uninvited. And
Worst matchup of outfit and song in this whole thing.
yeah, but I have to say, I thought, because Kiki's not a dancer, and she even
No.
said she doesn't want to go up against somebody in a dance song, I thought this was the perfect song for her.
Perfect,
Yeah. So I was looking forward to at least seeing what she did. I don't know if I could have predicted how she would do against Venus, but up first it was Kitten versus Melinda.
Melinda won.
I'm surprised.
Did that impress you much?
No, not really. Only because I know Kitten Caboodle's not a dancer.
She's not a dancer. I thought Melinda did better than I thought that she was going to. And she
Yeah.
I felt like she was really, I thought she brought some nice energy.
Yep.
I thought she was doing a thing. I thought her moves were a little bit repetitive. There was a little like,
I'm
gonna run off.
Yeah, by the
sideways
third
hair
verse, I
flip
was
through.
like,
It's like, okay, no, that didn't impress me much.
Yeah.
But of the two, she was the clear winner. Absolutely.
yeah. Aurora versus Denim was next. And
It's not even close. It's not even close.
no. First of all, I hated what Denim was wearing.
Yeah.
No offense to her, but I hated it. Like, this is not a generic outfit that you can lip sync in. And I do have to say, when they were done the first round, I was really pleased that they got to change. I thought they were going to have to wear this whole thing for the whole thing, but no, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I just don't think Denim. I think Denim should have picked Shania Twain's song.
Yeah.
I thought it would have fit her.
I think she would have had a chance of beating Melinda more because she had no chance of beating Aurora.
No,
she just saw her lip sync. What did she think?
Slaughtered.
Aurora picked her. She didn't pick Aurora. Yeah. That's what happened. All right. Then it was time for the main event: Near Enough versus Amy Yonsei Chanel. No offense to Amy, but I don't think I looked at her once when they were
either.
Even when they were both on camera. Nira was hypnotic.
Nira was doing amazing. My only, and this is me splitting hairs. Every so often you could see Nira like getting ready for the next move.
Right.
So it wasn't that fluid grace that I bring to the dance floor when I'm throwing myself around and tumbling around, like a nymph. But it's a nitpick. She was. I couldn't take my eyes off her. That's why I was nitpicky.
There was an old school Brooklyn Heights quality to her performance. Brooklyn does a lot of those slow, like quick move, slow, like let the hair fly and then let it settle.
And then let them look.
Stripper moves, I call them, but they're just really great performance moves.
It lets the performance breathe.
Yeah, I also love that both queens looked like they were running out of steam before the end of the song. They looked like they'd worn each other out.
Girl.
But I couldn't have been happier for Nira because, well, she did win, bless Amy. And that left Miss Kiki Cole and Venus. And I'm sorry Kiki was wearing that costume for this song.
I mean, she emoted.
Yeah.
She did a good job, but I kept being like,
she didn't make it easy, but
sad little sprite. What happened to you? You had the worst day on your birthday.
Yeah. I thought that this was the best that Venus has looked in drag this season. Just because I feel like a lot of the things she wears are like fresh out of the bag, like wigs out of the bag, not a lot of makeup. But I love this look. And it was funny. I kept thinking she looks like somebody. She looks like somebody. And then it struck me. She looked like Dakota Fanning now. Like not Dakota Fanning as a young girl, but the way she looks now. And once I kind of got that in, it was actually enjoyable to watch Venus because it's like, she really looks like this Dakota Fanning. And maybe Brooklyn thought that too because Venus won her lip sync. Bless everyone.
I mean, it was fine.
Yeah. And then it was round two. The queens, I think, were paired up by whoever was first out and whoever was second out. They were together, and third and fourth were together.
There was a sports brackety thing that was going on.
Yeah, that's right. The brackets.
Yeah.
So Aurora was up against Melinda, and they performed to Boys Wanna Be Her by Peaches. Are you familiar with Peaches?
I am familiar with Peaches.
Yeah, I like Peaches. I thought this was a good song for Melinda.
She did fine, but she was up against Aurora.
Yeah.
And that just made her moves look cheap by comparison.
Yeah.
Aurora was just graceful and energetic and had a lot of different moves and just wasn't like repeating the same things over and over again. Yeah. And I will always watch a hair flip. It could have been 100% hair flips, and I wouldn't have cared.
No.
I would have been there for the whole thing.
Yeah. I also felt it was sad that at the end, like the song was over, and then like as an afterthought, Melinda did a death drop, and it wasn't even really a good one.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, really? You're going to end on that note? Ugh.
If it was as a joke, I would have been more into it, but it's like, oh no, you were feeling yourself. You were like, now I'm falling.
And then it was Nira versus Venus, and they were lip syncing to Pull Up by Keys and Crate. I felt bad for Venus.
Yeah, I mean, what was she going to do?
I don't know. She's
looked... not a dancer.
No, but she also looked through the whole lip sync like she was thinking about what she was going to do next or, the lyrics or something. And I felt like it disconnected her from the performance. But Nira, on the other hand, just performed. She just did more or less what she did the first time. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I'd watch a Nira show.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was clearly Nira's to win, which she did. And good for her. And then it was the finale.
The finale.
Ooh, Aurora versus Nira. I was worried for Nira at first, and then that guitar riff from Alana Miles' Black Velvet started strumming, and the first thing I think of when I hear Alanis Miles' Black Velvet
is Alana Miles' yellow teeth in the video. They were just so... I mean, come on. Come on. If you can buy yourself a movie career, you can buy yourself some white strips.
I always think of this song as being like the perfect song for a stripper number. And nobody's better at stripper dancing than Nira. So
she's got a voluptuous kind of
a gorgeous
body
little slow-moving, supple and flexible body. Who wouldn't enjoy watching her do whatever she's doing? I thought both queens did a great job. Don't get me wrong.
I realized during this lip sync, I think Aurora is probably geared towards a faster song.
Yeah.
And if
she's
it's going to be a faster
dancing
song, she's going to crush it. And then something that's kind of a mid-tempo, slower one.
Yeah. Nira seemed to have an effortless throwdown. Like she was just into it. So for me, based on what I watched, I wasn't surprised that she was crowned the winner of the lip sync slay off extravaganza. Yeah. I mean, I didn't expect her to be the winner.
No,
I was thrilled that she was.
Yeah, I thought Aurora was going to take it based on the first two lip syncs, but I was not. After watching it, I was like, yeah. That was Nira. I'm not mad at you.
No.
I'm fine.
And then I totally forgot about this, but because she won that challenge, that whole lip sync off was a challenge. She won. She got the Hairy Beaver. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So, of course, all the queens wanted to be safe. And, well, there was a part of me that wanted Nira to give the beaver to Amy because it was Amy, Denim, Kitten, and Kiki that were in the bottom. But Denim made a solid plea for clemency, which I was a little surprised at.
Oh, yeah, she was just like, save me and I will return the favor and save you.
Yeah, done.
Oh, okay.
Done. So that's what Nira did. She gave the beaver to Denim. Yeah. Which left Kitten, Amy, and Kiki to lip sync to Laura Fabian's I Will Love Again. I hate it when more than two queens lip sync.
It's very distracting.
Especially when none of them are good. You know, it's like Kiki threw it down. This was a good song for her.
Yeah, of all the queens, I mean, I didn't find it a very memorable lip sync. It wasn't a train wreck. It wasn't, the gods didn't, and then the heavens didn't open. But I thought Kiki was the only one who really seemed to be going for it.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing we have to remember is two queens were going home. So these three queens, two of them are going. So if you're not the best one or outdoing the other two, it's going to be you.
I thought they'd be trying a little harder.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, when the music died, I wasn't surprised because she did such a good job. Yeah. But Kiki shantaed, and it was both Amy and Kitten who had to sashay away. Do you agree?
Amy, I felt like I kind of seen everything I was going to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded Kitten being there a couple weeks more.
I wouldn't have minded Kitten to be around for a week longer. I kind of feel like I've seen everything Kitten was going to show me as well, but I didn't feel like I'd seen it all. So I was slightly. I would have liked to see a little more Kitten. I don't know who I would have sent home in her place. I might have sent home Kiki, but then Kiki did a great job in the lip sync. She did a great job in the lip sync. So I think the right person went. The right person stayed. The right people went home.
Yeah.
All because of the beaver. Might have been. I think if Denim hadn't been saved and she ended up in the bottom, and she went home, that probably wouldn't have sat well. But I feel that
if Denim had been in that lip sync, she would have won.
You think that no matter what?
I do. I think she's just more dancey than, like, let's just be honest. If anyone was going to get saved out of those three, not Denim, it would have been Kiki. Yeah. And then it would have been Amy, Kitten, and Denim would have won. And it would still be the same two queens going home. But the best news of all.
Best news of all.
Oh, they retired the Hairy Beaver.
Standard Drag Race rules reinstated.
Yeah, clearly someone in head office didn't like being told who not to send home.
Yeah, or maybe they were going to take the time to paint it gold because they're responding to our feedback.
Maybe they're just hanging on every word you and I are saying.
Maybe they are.
Either way, that is it. Another 2 episodes of Canada's Drag Race done and dusted. We now have 6 queens. 6 all of a sudden, from queens. 8 to 6 queens
left. Feels good.
Yeah. Who do you think? Is anyone changing a position in your head, or you still see the same people in the final 3? Or?
Oh, I'm very excited about Aurora. I want to see what she's going to do. Yeah. I'm still excited about Denim, but I'm not as excited about Denim as I was.
It'll be interesting to see how she does in the next couple of challenges, because it's really down to that. If you're not an actor and it's an acting challenge, you can't sew, and it's going to be hard because we haven't had a unconventional
We haven't done an
sewing
unconventional
challenge. We
no.
might not. There could still be another acting challenge.
There's got to be another acting challenge. There's got to be. There's going to be a rusical.
Yeah.
There's got to be.
Oh, there has to be a rusical.
There's got to be. Is that going to be happening next week? Yeah. I'm still. I feel usually by this point in a season, I was like, okay, we've shaken off the dead wood, but I feel like there might still be some branches that need to be pruned.
Yes.
And I think we're going to see that coming up.
Yeah.
Because I still think we've got some acting challenge, some acting and some improv challenges, and some queens who aren't good at acting and improv, and I think we still have some design challenges and some girls that aren't, good at design. So we'll see what happens to Venus in the next design challenge.
Any prediction or wish list as to who goes home next? No.
Oh God, no. At this point, I'm taking it week by week.
Yeah.
I don't hate anyone.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That is it for us this week. 2 episodes of Drag Race Canada reviewed. How are you enjoying it? Are you having as much trouble watching it as we are? Or are you just eschewing the whole process and coming here to listen to what we had to say?
No, just listen to us.
It flatters to me how many people just can't watch Drag Race anymore, but they'll still come to see us.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, there was a donkey that showed up, and there was a Zamboni that took out 3 of the other queens. You didn't really miss out on anything on Drag Race. There was a rabbit beaver at one point. I thought that was very Canadian. Little on the nose. There was also a rabid Tim Hortons employee. I thought that was unnecessary, and I wasn't sure if that was a challenge.
Moments like this is just best to let her run out. Just let her finish her thoughts.
Like
if you interrupt her, she's just going to start again.
Some people wait a lifetime.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Those are the best ways to support the Fingerdoo review, but there are others. First of all, you can leave a tipperdoo by using the YouTube thanks button, which is just located at the bottom of this screen. Also in the description box, there are links to my Patreon group, my Redbubble store, and leaving an OG tipperdoo through PayPal. I want to say thanks for joining.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And until next week, miss me! Wow! Seriously. So much to watch. So
you
much.
hate everyone on this.
Well,
You hate everyone.
I just have reached a point now where it's like, if you're not at least this talented, you can't get on the ride.
Why am I watching?
Ugh, and I just find like Canada's Drag Race really wants to find rough bits of road. They're not looking for drag excellence. I think they may want to nurture some excellence out of somebody, but I don't feel like they even invest that kind of time.
Oh, no. Nurturing? I have no time for nurturing. Ugh. Kick it out of the nest and see what it does. Good enough for the 80s children. It's good enough for everyone.
Yeah. Gotta try harder.
Gotta try harder. Interesting.